Hello and welcome. Today I'm doing the mid-year freakout book tag, which if you haven't seen it already, is basically a way to check in on your reading year so far. It's a mix of prompts about the books you've loved, the ones that surprised you, the ones that let you down, and a chance to panic just a little about everything you still want to read before the end of the year. And honestly, 2025 has been one of my best reading years in a long time. I've already read about 70 books, some short, some very chunky, some I devoured in a day, and some that really stuck with me. So I'm really looking forward to looking back on the year so far, reflect a little, and maybe add a few books to your TBR while I'm at it. And if you're watching and one of these prompts jumps out at you, feel free to drop your own answers in the comments. I'd love to hear what's been working or not working for you so far this year. I've been in a little bit of a summer slump and haven't filmed in a few weeks, but this is a video I've always wanted to do. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so number one is best book you've read so far in 2025. So I've given two books 5 stars in 2025. One was Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley, and the other was All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. And I have to say my favorite is All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. This one was in my February wrap-up and it completely took me by surprise. It's the perfect blend of mystery, emotional depth, and slow burn suspense. I've said it before, but if The God of the Woods left you a little underwhelmed, but you still love that genre, pick up this one immediately. It does what that book could have done and did it so much better. Okay, number 2 is the best sequel you've read so far. I have not continued with very many series this year, so this one was a little bit of slim pickings for me. So I do have to go with Defiant by Brandon Sanderson. This one wrapped up the Skyward series. And like I said in my March wrap-up, I believe it was, Sanderson always brings the action, but what stood out to me in this one was the character growth. It did not quite hit as hard as the earlier books, but it still left me satisfied. It was a solid ending to a long-standing YA series. An honorable mention here goes to Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. It's the 6th book in the Boys of Tommen series, and after Taming 7, I was a little worried I was maybe getting a little too old for this, but that one sucked me right back in, although the content is pretty disturbing, so if you're going to read that one, check it out beforehand. She actually does a really good job of introing those in the beginning of the book. Personally, I'm not a trigger fan, so I pass over those. And then I'm shocked when I'm actually reading the book. Okay, number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. For me, that's Flashlight by Susan Choi. This one released on June 3rd, and I'm still about 8 weeks out on my library hold, and the wait is painful. So the premise of this one is we start with a father disappearing during a late night walk with his daughter. And from there, it unspools into a multi-generational story about memory, grief, and the ripple effect of that night. It sounds like one of those quiet, literary slow burns that I'll want to sink into with a cup of tea and a lot of emotional bandwidth. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. This one's easy for me. That is Culpability by Bruce Holsinger. This one releases July 10, and it sounds a little like Little Fires Everywhere meets AI. It follows a family dealing with the fallout after a fatal crash involving a self-driving car, while each member hides something that might explain what really happened. It sounds messy, timely, and full of moral gray areas. Exactly my kind of domestic drama. Number 5, biggest disappointment. I've said it before, Riley Sager is an auto-read author for me, but his last couple have really let me down, including With a Vengeance. This was easily the most boring thing I've read all year, in a year in which I also read When Stars Align by Melissa de la Cruz, so that says a lot. I'm not sure why Sager went for multiple POVs when character depth and development are not his strong suits. And the Agatha Christie vibes he was trying to channel completely missed the mark for me. It felt like a slog from page 1. Okay, number 6 is Biggest Surprise. For me, that is Creep by Emma Van Straten. I went into this one thinking it was going to be a thinky literary book that I may or may not connect with. like a my year of rest and relaxation type of book that you either love or hate. This book made my skin crawl in the best way. It was so uncomfortable, I almost didn't even want to turn the page, but I had to. It's one of those character studies that digs into the human psyche, and even though it was dark and cringe, I couldn't stop reading. Number 7, favorite new author. Either a debut or new to me. This one was new to me, and that is Charlotte McConaughey. This year I read Migrations and Wild Dark Shore, and Migrations was definitely the standout. Both had that haunting lyrical style that she does so well. Her books feel like a gut punch wrapped in gorgeous prose, and she is officially on my auto read list now. Okay, 8, newest fictional crush. For me, that is Captain Salvo Falcone of To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Honestly, this is a surprising pick considering how much romance I've read this year. But Captain Falcone, he was everything. Level-headed, principled, and a little mysterious, but still kind. Go figure. He's the kind of leader you'd trust in a crisis, but still find yourself flirting with mid-battle. Number 9 is newest favorite character. This one was pretty easy, and that is Joan from Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Joan was such a standout. She's brilliant, she's kind, and I was just rooting for her so hard. Her storyline brought so much heart to this book. Watching her navigate her career, love, and identity when the stakes were incredibly high, it just got me. Number 10, a book that made you cry. For this one, I picked The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. Don't be fooled by the cover or title. This book went deep. Catherine Center really digs into trauma and complicated familial relationships in this one, and it hit way harder than I expected. There were honestly parts that just felt too real and painful, but in the best way. Number 11, a book that made you happy. This one had a clear frontrunner for me, and that is Story of My Life by Lucy Score. This one just made me smile all the way through and even kick my feet under the covers in bed at night. It was sweet, breezy, and the couple's easy to root for. It's like the book version of drinking something fizzy on a sunny afternoon. Pure serotonin. 12, most beautiful book that you've bought or received so far this year. I have to say, this one is Blood Cruise by Matt Strandberg. Okay, yes, it's a horror novel about a literal bloodbath on a cruise ship, but this was a total cover buy for me. In fact, it's the only cover buy I have purchased so far in 2025. What can I say? The bloody handprints just pulled me in. Thankfully, the inside of the cover held up too. I actually gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a great spooky time. Loved the atmosphere in this one. And number 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Okay, of course, I don't need to read anything by the end of the year. I'm very much a mood reader and just plan to read what feels good going forward. That's worked out so far. So besides Culpability, I've got a solid list building up. I really want to get to Moderation by Elaine Castillo. I mentioned this one in my summer releases video. The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong, and Don't Let Me In by Lisa Jewell, also mentioned in that same video. I've also recently discovered Annabelle Monaghan. She's sort of the runner-up for that favorite new author. However, I really tried not to repeat titles in this. So I'm dying to read Same Time Next Year and It's a Love Story. They're both on my holds list at my library. And all this is just to name a few, so clearly I have a lot to look forward to. So that's where I stand at this halfway point of 2025. Some new favorites, some letdowns, and a whole lot left I still want to get to. I'm hoping that the second half of the year just meets what the first half of the year was, but I'm not putting too much pressure on it. Either way, I'll be sharing the journey, and I'd love for you to stick around and subscribe and be a part of it. If you're still watching, thank you so much for joining me in this little corner of bookish chaos. Let me know in the comments how your reading year is going, and I'll see you all soon in the next video. Bye!